put me to work on 401. That's what we called her. We knew she'd be the largest passenger ship in the world, but we didn't call her Titanic then.
I was there from the beginning. I watched the shipwrights lay the keel blocks. They set big wooden blocks on the slipway to start with. Then the keel is top of it, like a backbone, and the frames attached to that, like a skeleton.
Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find your way around. But the workshops of every trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailmakers, coppersmiths, boiler makers, cabinet makers. I even learned a bit about French polishing off it.
Barnabas was a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship cost a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides.
I was in the engine works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. 2 of them, each as high as a 3-story house.
I worked in the frame bending shop. You'd heat steel beams in the furnace, then hook them onto slabs of cast iron and hammer them curved. It was skilled work. You had to bend them more than you needed because the frame straightened out a little when it cooled.
The shell plates that made up the hull weighed up to 4.5 tons. They were taller than the dab.
The plates were overlapped on the edges. Some were raised, one after another. We called it clincher. One of the foremen taught me years ago. That's how you built steel ships.
I worked as a heater boy. You had to heat the rivets on a wee plate. You pumped the bellows till the rivet was white hot. Then you get a hold of it with your tongs and throw it up to the catcher. And he put it in the hole in the plate and the hold her up. There were 2 of us on the other side of the plate that hold her up. We had to hammer the rivet so it filled the hole before it turned dull red. The double bottom. That's a wee space we called the tanks, made up of steel plates. The rest of the rivet squad all had to fit into that gap. One of the foremen would check each rivet with a special hammer. If it made a ringing sound, we'd have to get back and chase it out after work. I get scared working down in that double bottom. You only had candles for light. And the constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. Some of those boys ended up stone deaf, so did I. We were paid 31 bob a week. The heater boy and catcher got 16 bob. But we all worked the same 54 hours.
The upper deck was steel too, and part of the strength of the ship. There's no straight lines in a ship, and when you look down the other deck, you can see the shear of the hull to stop her flexion at sea.
The stern frame had to be strong enough to take the rudder turning in heavy seas. You'd have all these timbers and guy wires to steady the frame, and men scurrying around like ants underneath. When we came to launch day, I was torn between pride and fear. Standing ways were coated in tallow, train oil and soft soap. So the ship would slide and they shifted her weight off the blocks. That was the most dangerous part. And the shipwrights were knocking away the last props. They were under compression, you see, and the sliding ways would be released by the hydraulic trigger. 100,000 people watched the launch. Some paid a bob to sit in the reserved seating. There were extra trams laid on. Then we all went off to the pub to wish her well.
Doc, you were proud to be an island man that day. And Titanic was the pride of Belfast.
Thank you for joining us. The tour will end in a few seconds. Please exit the car carefully and make sure you don't leave any personal possessions behind.
see the rails.
Roger that.
What's that hanging off the rails? It looks like icicles. Icicles of rust.
Yeah. They're what Dr. Bob Ballard calls rusticles. Here we go. I'm turning the ROV down along the port side of the bow. You can see those rusticles clearly now.
The railings, they're still there.
Pretty much. There's the chain for the fore anchor.
That's amazing.
Now we're running back down B-deck towards the forecastle.
Wow, that is incredible.
It's a great shot.
There's a hatch.
Probably the first to go under the surface.
What are those?
Capstans for winding ropes and cables. Let me rotate the ROV. Now we're looking back down the anchor chains.
Unbelievable.
That's pretty cool, huh?
That's a strange box lying there.
A heater from first class. It's fallen out of place. You'd only get third class in this part of the ship. Hang on, I'll go in close.
It's so ornate.
Here's a cargo crane. Hard to get the scale. The base would be about 10 feet high. You can see the boom where it would be stored flat on the deck.
Something's fallen across that one.
That's the foremast.
It's incredible how it's just still preserved.
Just 100 years later.
Another hatch.
So I've turned now to track down the foremast.
What's that hole?
That's the entry to the crow's nest.
Wow. That's where they saw the iceberg from. Is that what I think it is?
Hang on, let me steady the ROV and I'll move in. Captain Edward Smith's private bathtub, with plumbing for freshwater and seawater, believe it or not.
What are those?
Memorial plaques. There are several of those in the hull now. And that's a telemotor.
What's the telemotor for?
It's part of the hydraulic system that connected the ship's wheel to the steering gear and the rudder.
It's still shiny.
Bronze and brass. They don't rust. We're about a third of the way along the hull now. I'll turn and zoom in. Can you see that hole?
What is that?
That's where the forward funnel was.
The one that collapsed.
Maybe 3 minutes before the end. Coming at the funnel opening from another angle. That's a water tank. Still sitting there.
Incredible. It looks almost untouched.
A double-action Welland quadrant lifeboat, David. Designed to swing the boat well over the side of the ship.
So you were okay if you could get into a lifeboat? What is that?
That's one of the ship's boilers.
It is gigantic.
So I'm over the debris field now.
This is off the side of the ship.
Off the side, and here we're behind it.
There's so much of it.
It's huge. She kind of planed down onto the ocean floor, leaving all this stuff behind. If you look carefully, you can see bottles lying there.
It's remarkable. Oh my God. Shoes.
Women's. 2 different sizes.
They could be a mother and daughter.
Well, they came down together, that's for sure.
Some kind of basket?
No one's ever figured out what that is. Bet you know what that is, though.
Go closer.
I'm zooming now.
A chamber pot. A frying pan.
So we're coming out of the back end of the debris field now. Next thing you'll see is the stern section.
What a mess.
But remember, it came down separately. Between the 2 little capstans. We're right at the back of the ship.
Even here, there's more of those rusticles all along it.
The whole deck is covered in it.
And this would be the what? The poop deck?
The very last part of Titanic to go down. People clinging to the railings.
Must have been a terrifying sight.
Here you go. I'll switch cameras. And there's Hercules, lighting up the darkness.
It's unnerving. Do you ever get used to this?
Not really. Amazes me every time. And that's it. Pretty much the same view as Dr. Ballard saw when he first explored it in '85.